dishwasher when I was 17 years old in Paris, in this like randomly Mexican restaurant, Tex-Mex restaurant, and then I remember first time we came into the kitchen, it was like the roughness, like the adrenaline, like the whole ambience that it's. I mean, I felt at home. I felt like I was like somewhere where I really want to spend the rest of my life.
Have you decided what you're gonna get?
Oh yeah, definitely we're gonna get one of each.
One of each. Got it.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of One of Each. Thanks for supporting us, for listening to us. Remember, we are on YouTube, on all podcasts and music platforms. Remember to like us, to subscribe, and again, thanks for being here. And today, on another episode of One of Each, I have my dear friend Alvaro Clavijo, all the way from Bogotá, from restaurant El Chato, Selma, and other projects that you will tell us later. So, Alvaro, it's a pleasure to have you at One of Each. It's a pleasure to have you in Miami. Welcome.
Thank you, Nidal. I'm very, very excited about this. Actually, it's my first time. I mean, I've done this before, like in audio, but never done it before with camera. So it's gonna be.
So now people know how you look.
Yeah, put a face. Yeah. It's gonna be exciting. I mean, fun, different. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming. I know you are here on doing a dinner series at Sonny's, but I'm glad that you come often to Miami, and we have the opportunity to show you around. And again, it's a pleasure to have you. And we always start these conversations by asking people, I mean, how they got into food, not only as a passion, but in your case as a job, it's what you do. You are a very well recognized chef, not only in Colombia, but I would say in the region or globally. So how did that spark of connecting with food, with cuisine started?
Well, I mean, Neil, I'm very lucky that I started when I was very young. Actually, I mean, I grew up in a family that we never did, and we never like used to cook. I mean, my mother, she's not a cook. My mother, actually, she's a helicopter pilot.
Wow, no way.
Yeah, so she's like super like random like career that she did, and I mean, we never came from a family that, I mean, I'm not a cook that I had that like I was raised in this kind of.
You were, what's the most opposite thing I can do from being a helicopter pilot?
Yeah, chef. Yeah. So I mean, actually, and I mean, we never. So I was saying, we never cooked at home. So we were like visiting mainly restaurants, and my mother, she got married with this French Jewish guy that used to live in Colombia, and he became my stepfather for almost like 9 years. So that cultural like mix in the house was like the breaking point for us, for me exactly. I mean, because I remember he used ingredients at home that we never saw before with my sister and I. So
like what?
Like, I mean, like bringing like sesame seeds in vinaigrettes into salads, and like crushed cucumbers. They like, I mean, we in Colombia we never used to it like that, so it was like a new thing for us.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm saying when I was like around 13, I remember like that was like a breaking point in my head for food, because we used to eat like more tubers, like Andean, like Colombian, like South American food. So using like sesame seeds, like tahini and things like that for dressings and salads for me at the age of 13 was like
nice.
Super random and weird. So it was like eating for first time I said, you know, it's like, wow, like you blew up my mind, because it was like it's so amazing how flavors can like make you travel through your mouth. So.
And for a 13-year-old that you are, probably your head is somewhere else, like playing,
exactly.
having fun, learning everything, that something in the food world got your attention. That's very nice.
That's something that, I mean, so I was like, but so sometimes I was like just cooking with him and like seeing how he did certain things, because like we used to have like mates and people that used to, like South America, it's very, very normal to have like mates that come like every week, certain weeks, or even your nanny cooks for you.
So you're not a billionaire?
No, I'm not a billionaire. Yeah, so, because once you say that, like in the US, you would know like, this guy must be a billionaire. So, but it's not. I mean, you know this, and every South American might be seeing this. They will understand what I'm saying. But I'm not a millionaire. I never was a millionaire. But it's very normal that you had a nanny that cooks.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you used to like the same. I don't know what in Venezuela, but in Colombia,
Same.
It's always very random. I mean, it's also very like standard to see a pot of rice over the stove.
That's
like,
right.
Every day, and you come like with a spoon and eat it, and then that's like you come with beans, and then you come with like some stew meat, and that's how we ate.
Exactly.
So remember, so imagine like randomly like this guy shows up and starts like to cook this thing. So the whole thing changed at that point.
Nice.
So for me,
Yeah, I remember in Venezuela we have also saying like no matter what's the menu or anything, there's a pot of white rice in the middle of the table. No?
Exactly. I mean, it's very nice to know because I thought it was a mainly Colombian thing, but yeah.
And one thing, okay, from liking food or enjoying food to decide that food is gonna be your life, your job. How was that transition? Was there a trigger point where you said, "Okay, I'm gonna be a chef. I'm gonna do this for a living"?
I wasn't, I was. I mean, through between the 13-year-old guy that tried this like random ingredients for first time and then became a cook, I was like just being a punk rocker, like like going around, like with music and like I was just following concerts, and that was like my main goal until like. Time shows up to go to university, or like, what are you gonna do? And my mother, she was expecting me to go to to be a doctor or to be and that's which is like pretty hypocrite for a helicopter pilot. Like it's like she wants me to go to like a 5-year university program. So then I decided that I wanted to be I secretly told her that. I told her that I was going to be an architect. So I applied to come to Maryland University in the U.S. And then I didn't. I went. My sister, she used to live in Switzerland at the time, and it's like I wanna take like a free time. I wanna try to start to think what I wanna do. So while I was living, we moved to Paris, and then I moved to Paris and Paris.
With like the whole family, your mom, your stepdad.
Yeah. And then we before that, we went to Paris, and then at some point said like you need to start to work and do something. So a friend of my mother, she had a restaurant, and then I started to I applied as a waiter, and the guy says like you're too ugly to become a waiter, so you're gonna.
I need to hide you in the back.
You need to go in the back. You're too ugly to be a waiter. So go in the back, and then just you become a dishwasher. So I was a dishwasher when I was 17 years old in Paris, in this like randomly Mexican restaurant, Tex-Mex restaurant, and then I remember first time I came into the kitchen. It was like the roughness, like the adrenaline, like the whole ambience that it's. I felt at home. I felt like I was like somewhere where I really want to spend the rest of my life.
Nice. And in that same restaurant, you transitioned from dishwasher to kitchen, or
yeah. So I was so bad washing dishes because I was the worst. So I was working with 3 guys from Sri Lanka, 1 Mexican, and I was like we were four guys. And I was like, they were like waiting for me always to close the restaurant. So they were like extremely pissed off at me. Like, you're the worst dishwasher we ever had. So then the chef, he was like, I always speak very highly of him because he became my mentor at the time. And he gave me a chance to be in the kitchen. So I moved from dishwasher to chef de partie in the coming between, because it was like Tex-Mex restaurants, you do microwaves and pots, and it's like a very not like a very professional kitchen. It's like more expediting food and like very different from what I do right now. But it was the breaking point of my life when I said I thought this is the place I want to be. This is where I want to spend the rest of my life, and it was a lot of fun. So being the worst dishwasher, I became a very good cook. And I was very good at it. So,
that came naturally for you?
Yeah. So at some point I said, what am I going to do? So I was supposed to go to Maryland University to become an architect. And then I decided to secretly go to Barcelona and study. I went to my culinary school. I did it in Barcelona. And my mother, she never knew that. I hid it from her because I was supposedly, for 3 months I was able to hide it. My sister, she helped me. And
She
because
saw you were doing architecture.
she thought I was doing something else. And I was like secretly studying to become a chef. And then she noticed and she's like, my sister, okay, my relationship broke up with my mother for like around 3 months,
Wow.
6 months. And then my sister comes in and says, like, you need to show her that you really love this and you really. So we did a dinner for my family.
Oh, nice.
For Christmas, and I intoxicated the whole family.
No way.
My sister wasn't like in the hospital. My grandmother, she was like dying in the toilet, like vomiting. I intoxicated one night before Christmas, all my family.
How you do?
Because I was doing like a paella, but I bought a salmon head, and it was like too greasy, too much fat on the broth. So I was just 6 months in culinary school, and I didn't like thought about it.
Yeah.
I was like super nervous to cook to my family and to get their approval.
How did you make that up?
No, she said, you're gonna end up in jail or being a good cook. So why do you need to become a good cook? So then she started to help me a little bit more. So between I was working, I was going to culinary school in Hofmann in Barcelona. I started to do some internships. Actually, did in Sergio Ariola was my first internship.
Okay.
And then
At the Arts Hotel.
yeah, Arts Hotel.
Nice.
Yeah, you remember that? It was like
Yes.
25 years, 22 years ago.
Was
wow,
amazing.
20
Yes.
years ago. Yeah, and yeah, and then we just like then like those internships helped me to develop my what I really wanted to do, and then I returned to Paris. And then,
But if you think about it, you wanted to be an architect, and there's not much difference. I mean, of course, there's a difference, but it's still on the creative side of things. Like, so I can see a relationship of wanting to be an architect and ending up being a chef. I think there's many similarities. So in terms of what you want to do or how you want to express yourself.
actually, I really fully agree with you, and I also really think about my time. The reason I wanted to do it is because in high school I was very good, like achieving like certain things and designing things. And you're right, I remember when I'm not. That's the reason maybe I love your
As to
your
falafel.
painting in that. But I mean that when you're chef, you paint like that, And then I was like painting in high school, and then I remember when I designed some certain dishes, I like to paint them and to explain to my staff how we think about like the plating before we do the whole thing. So yeah, I agree. There's like a creativity, and there's like some point that they like might bond together, and actually when you design a restaurant and when you start to work in your own project, you see that you realize that it's like it's your home because you spend more time there instead of your house. So it's not about just designing food; it's also about designing the whole space.
So when you build a restaurant, you have El Chato, Selma, and other projects. Like, do you get involved in the design part? Because at the end, it's all part of the experience. No?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't been there for a very long time, but so in El Chato, we are four partners that we are like fully involved in the project. I mean, I'm the chef, but I mean, I have the architect is my partner, and two guys. They are like one in charge of the numbers, and the other one is like taking care of all the, like all the deals we do with like certain like brands and everything.
Okay.
But I mean, they have their own jobs. So, but we just like do meetings once a month. But the architect, he designed the whole space.
Okay.
But the interior design, it was like mainly me,
Nice.
And every year we close like almost a month. To rethink about what we do. So the last time, I don't remember when was the last time you were.
It was like probably 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, if you come now, it's like a whole new thing. So because we remodel the whole kitchen, I think it's very important to invest on the restaurant and make changes every year.
Absolutely. Well, we were talking last night about going there soon, so I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, we need to plan out before the end of the year. Yeah.
Absolutely. So going back to so you were in Barcelona, you went to Hofmann, did some stage. Then I think you were in other places in Europe, as part of that process.
Yeah. So I mean, after that, I realized that I wanted to. So Hofmann was mainly focused on all the time. At the time in Spain, it was like focus on like hydrocolloids, like Ferran Adrian kind of style, like evolving food, which I respect a lot, and I think it was like at the time was a booming part of the. I mean, it was like the new thing on the world on the culinary scene. Sorry. And I think it's amazing, and I really respect that at the time. But at the time, I had I had to take the decision where to go after like graduating from culinary school, and I decided to go to back to Paris. The reason I decided to go back to Paris is because I wanted to cook on pots, like clay pots. I mean, not clay pots, but like cover pots, and like being able to work and burn myself, like from scratch, like learn from basics and then build from there. I wanted to experience like Paris in that way.
Okay.
So I went to 2 to 3 Michelin star restaurants, and I I spent in Paris almost like 6 years working
Wow.
around, and I spoke very well French, so I was like very able to do a lot of things in the restaurants. But at the time it was very hard too because I've been South American, and imagine that was 2007. So
Okay.
imagine being in a South American in a 2 3 star Michelin star restaurant. It was like super weird for the French.
Wow.
So it was tough. It was very tough. I have a lot of memories and stories about that. But I mean, it gave me a lot of. I mean, we're all humans. We're all capable of doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're from Venezuela, Colombia, South Africa, Taiwan, whatever. We're all able. If you have a passion, you're able to
Absolutely.
achieve whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I had that in my heart. So I really strongly believed that I was gonna be able to achieve something through what I learned and what my passion was. So I moved around a lot, and then I came back to the U. I came to the U.S. To work in New York, and then I did like a little stage at Noma in Denmark before finding what wanted to really do. And then I got a job offer in Moscow for Pierre Garnier. He was opening a
Oh
restaurant
wow.
there as a sous chef. Sorry, and he invited. I mean, one of the guys that used to run the lecture room at London.
Uh huh.
Actually, the guy that gave them 3 stars, he used to be my boss in Paris. So he offered me an opening sous chef position in a restaurant that Pierre Garnier was opening in Moscow, and I came back to Colombia to apply for the visa. In 6 months, I got declined my visa. I got declined for three
No way.
times in 6 months. It's like Russians. What is this Colombian kid doing in Russia?
Exactly.
I mean, like, nonsense. And they denied. So I lost the job offer, and I had to stay in Colombia. So that's where the project started.
Wow. I was gonna ask you, especially that, and it was like a very good, a nice accident, because everybody, especially those times in Latin America, that this was right now. Thank God, and thanks to many chefs like you, like being a chef in Latin America, it's great. The growth is amazing, but 15, 20 years ago, everybody wanted to be in Europe, in the US, and you decided, no, I'll stay in Colombia. What was that thing that made you decide to stay in Colombia?
Well, I mean, between Noma and moving to Moscow, I remember there's a chef called Austin Johnson. We met. He used to be a sous chef at 11 Madison Park. He has a restaurant called 100 Southridge in New York.
Okay.
1 Michelin star. And this guy, it's super intense. He was, I don't know if you have in your radar, Sergio Herman from
I don't think so.
Belgium. He used to have a restaurant called Ots Louis.
Okay.
And it was like a traditional restaurant from 3 stars, like he was third generation. He's like the rock star from Belgium.
Okay.
And actually, like at some point we realized that we were sitting in Paris in a cafe, and he was saying like, I'm ready to open my restaurant. I'm ready to do my food. And that was very inspiring for me. Like, how do you know, when do you stop working? When do you realize? Because
Exacto.
exactly what you were saying. Like, you just want to continue because there's like this guy popping up and this guy doing this, and then you should go there. And at the end of the time, you start to work with the same people and moving around. So I was very lucky to realize there was like an opportunity of business in Colombia. Like, I mean, nobody's doing this right now. And actually, I mean, there was. I'm not gonna tell you. I was the first. I'm not gonna be the last. But I mean, there's like restaurants in Colombia. They used to work with Colombian ingredients, but they never had the technique that or the background that I used to have.
Okay.
So I thought that was the difference.
Nice.
So I decided to stay in Colombia. I opened this restaurant to apply all those techniques that I learned to Colombian ingredients, and that's the fun part for me. Like I really want to have a job and a place that I really woke up every day and say like I really want to be here, and I don't want to be anywhere else.
Nice. That's great to hear. And how was the evolution in terms of having a? What year did you open El Chato?
2017.
Okay. What was the difference when you all first arrived, or when you went back to Colombia, until now in terms of access to local ingredients, work with local producers, availability of products, seasonality? How was then and how is it now?
Well, I mean, at the time, I mean, we are a biodiversity. I mean, we're a country that has like so many things, so many things, but they're very hard to achieve because I mean, it used to be in war so many years, and getting access to certain parts of the regions of Colombia was very hard. So I mean, there's a lot of things that you saw in the market. For example, I mean, probably you've been in Palo Quemado, which is one of the biggest fruit markets in Colombia, in Bogotá, and you can go there and just like to eat 2 or 3 fruits per day, and you will never be repeat the same fruit for a whole year, and that's the more commercial fruits you can find. And then I realized that I mean you can through like being to support and push like local producers, you will be able to achieve certain ingredients from the whole country. So at the beginning we were just like working with the surroundings of Bogota, which is the capital of Colombia, and then I realized I mean in the Amazon, there's like so many things that you can like they can ship to us, and then we can work with them. And then from the north, from La Guajira, and like very like we're neighbors.
Close to Maracaibo, or
we're neighbors from us. I mean, the ingredients are also amazing. Like,
oh, really?
Like the way they preserve them, the way they work with them, the techniques they use. The corn out there, it's amazing. So I mean, it's like so many things that we can put on a plate. Like just like being able to do through investigation and work also. It will be like so much fun for us. So I mean, we apply. I mean, we didn't have foie gras, we didn't have caviar, we didn't have like truffles. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna use like food. I'm gonna use like fruits. I'm gonna be able to use like different things. So without even having the real like goal to achieve what we have done so far, it ended up. It started like just for fun for us, for me. So. I think it's a very exciting place to be right now, and I think we achieved something very special because we show Colombia through not like the most like innovative restaurant that you might think in the world, but I mean we tried people to understand like the ingredient through the dish and show them what we do through by a fun way of showing things. Like I mean. Should visit.
Yeah. And how do you feel now after almost 10 years of El Chato? Like you've become with like a group of very talented Colombian chefs. You've become almost an ambassador, not only of Colombian cuisine, but Colombia as a country, as a culture. How has El Chato evolved since you first opened? Of course, you've learned a lot about your own country, your products. Where do you see El Chato now not only as a restaurant, but as a project?
Well, I mean, it's, as I was saying maybe before, I think it's something that connects on my mind and my heart. It's like we're having so much fun. So
nice.
While we're having so much fun, while we're going to stop, we're full on reservations. I mean, it's not a matter about a number or being somewhere. It's just for us, it's too much fun. So while we keep like pushing through that fun, I'm gonna keep like doing it. Like I mean, I don't see myself anywhere else. But it's also like challenging too, because restaurants like this, they're like it's very hard to maintain and like to keep like amused people. But and also Colombia, it's not the most recognized country by its food. So it's also hard to people from, and also Bogota, because people they visit like the coast, like Cartagena and like Santa Marta and Medellin, like they're like more exciting places to be for tourists. Bogota, it's like Bogota is like the London of South America. It's
okay.
Like rainy. It's like I mean, like it's like not very interesting for a tourist.
But London is amazing. So
London is amazing.
Bogota is amazing.
And I think in London it's a very exciting place to eat.
Yeah.
So Bogota, it's becoming actually, it's very similar in that way. I think Bogota, it's a very exciting place to be right now to have a restaurant and to go to eat. I mean, you can. I mean, as I said before, it's been a long time since you last
Yeah.
went there. But I mean, it will be amazing to host you again and show you how many places like they're opening right now. It's a very exciting place to be right now.
I bet. And in terms of the community, Latin America, and I wanted to ask you this more on a Latin American vision. Uh, Probably, I don't know, Gaston probably was the first one to pave the road of Latin American cuisine in the world. Alex Atala, I mean, so many names we can go through. How do you see Latin American cuisine positioned now in the world? And you just mentioned minutes ago that it was unthinkable or you had a hard time as a Colombian chef in a Michelin star restaurant in Paris, or even the guys like I bet today, the guy from the Russian embassy, he says, okay, a chef from Latin America, yeah, I'll approve it. No,
Well, they're changing. Yeah.
yeah. How have you experienced that change, or what do you think about the positioning that Latin American cuisine has now around the world? And then we'll go to Colombia because, of course, Peru and Mexico are probably like the leaders in how they've positioned their cuisine and very well deserved. And I mean, I respect so much what's going on there. But then you have countries like Argentina, Colombia, maybe Ecuador, that are also riding that bus.
Even Venezuela.
Even
now.
Venezuela recently, unfortunately, we're not gonna go on that topic of politics, but Venezuela has been a gray zone. Nobody knows what happens there in terms of cuisine. Even when probably in the 80s and 90s was like on the top of the culinary world, at least in Latin America.
It used to, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you see Latin American cuisine now around the world? How's it positioned? How is it perceived? I mean, you travel, you've done events in Thailand, in Europe, in so many countries. How's that perception changed?
Well, I mean, it's a very interesting topic and way to think that. I mean, especially I will say about Colombia because I remember like maybe 7 years ago got invited to Rome to do an event, and it was like a private event, and then like there's a lot of politics in Rome. They were like just making jokes about us. Like, I mean, what is Colombian cuisine? What are you gonna cook for us? Is it gonna be like drugs or something like that? I mean, it's like this so ignorance. Like even like people that they're supposed to meant to have like this cultural like approach and be more sensitive about certain things. They like joke about it, and I think that's a huge ignorance. Like about like people they still joke about Pablo Escobar. I mean, imagine that like 40 years ago. Yeah, it's like what? So it's something that I mean for us was like for me was like very hard because I mean what am I gonna do if you go as a Peruvian or a Mexican to San Petersburg or Sydney or Melbourne or whatever Hong Kong, people they will like be more able to understand Mexican food or Peruvian, and they like put us in that same box. Oh, it's gonna be the same. Like once you start to choose certain things, it's gonna be like kind of a Mexican thing, kind of a Colombian. It's like you're like 2 blocks away. It's like it's gonna be the same. No, I mean we're like every Venezuela and Colombia is like so different. So I mean for me it was like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take us time. It's gonna be, but I fully believe in this. So I thought it was gonna be, as I said, like fun for us, but for me. And then I started like to think it's gonna be a very tough road. But it changed so much like lately. Like I mean, no, I don't know even if it's because of the restaurant, it's because of me, or if it's the timing. But I don't feel that way that I felt the first time in Rome when I was doing a private event. Now I come to Sunny's, and they respect what we do. Like I mean, we felt at home yesterday. They were like very excited to have us. They don't really care if we're Colombian or we're from Ecuador. They really want to see what we have to do. So this makes me think that you have to gain the respect and like show like you really have something to say, and then you can show your country through
Yeah,
that.
no, and that's great, even from a social point of view, because even not only Colombian cuisine, but Colombia as a country, as a culture, it has grown so much in the right way. I think, as you mentioned, because people still joke about Escobar and drugs, and that's like a paradigm that people have. But even Colombia has positioned itself as a touristic destination, from a cultural perspective, from a culinary perspective, and that, of course, opens the door to other
Yeah,
things.
so
Yeah.
tourism, it's changing so much. Like people, they used to be afraid to go there, and I mean, and then you see like restaurants. So our restaurant is divided into floors. First floor is just mainly a la carte. Second floor is just for tasting, and you see a lot of tourism going through food. And it's not only El Chato. It's like all restaurants in Bogotá that like people, they just travel there to eat, and that's something that I think is timing, and it's very exciting because they chefs, they keep pushing themselves to do different things and like to show their country.
And is there, because of there's probably, and I would say with you are probably like a second generation, but there's, for example, like Leo, Harry,
Yeah,
Jorge,
Yeah.
who's, I won't say started, because I don't know what came before, and I accept.
Yeah.
I don't know that much of the Colombian history,
Yeah,
but they probably were the first ones who positioned at least Bogota in the culinary map of Latin
world,
America and the world. Then came a generation like you, people from your age, your time opening restaurants in like 10, 15 years ago. Do you see now like a new generation of chefs, maybe who worked with you, who worked with Harry, with Leo, who are like opening new projects, bringing new ideas into the table? Like, do you see that movement? Because that's what, at the end of the day, gets
it's the legacy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So actually, our anniversary was in February, and we did like our chefs de cuisine. So we invited like these 3 guys that used to work for us. Well, since we opened, and then you see projects amazing. Like one guy is called Jaime. He has Humo Negro. The other one is called Rafa. He has in Barichara, which is the north of Colombia, one of the most beautiful towns in Colombia. And there's the only restaurant, I mean, that you can go and really have like an amazing meal there. And he has been open like for 5 years now. And imagine like 10, 15 years ago, like somebody going there and opening a restaurant, that will never happen. That happens in Europe. Like you just go in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and then you can open
And
for a
people
2,
go.
3 star because people go. In Colombia, that never happened before. So if chefs, because restaurateurs, they just want to open in main cities, like amazing, like blocks and like the hottest spots in the city.
Yeah.
But I mean, a chef, normally when you're a chef, you're not rich. You just like, I mean, you have some savings, you have to find an investor, and then you just go and open. And then you see these guys like doing, like pushing themselves to go to like different parts of the city, different parts of the country, to open exciting projects. That is not mainly focused for like tourism, like also like locals. They can like be like proud of what they have and what they like really can go and afford to pay. Those are the things you can start to see right now, and you see them in Venezuela too. You see,
Yes.
I mean, all over South America is like popping up all this like chefs like coming in, like not only like 50 best of Michelin star focused restaurant,
Yeah.
because of their training, but also like having like the capability to, as a chef, to understand that we are in countries that they are not able to achieve like expensive like tickets to go to a restaurant. And the chefs, they understand that, and they started to do like small businesses. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like, if you want to do a hot dog, you don't buy the bread, you don't buy the sausage, you don't buy the mayonnaise. You do those 3 things to achieve the best hot dog.
Exacto.
So if you like, this is the place you just took me, this Venezuelan bakery,
Caracas Bakery.
amazing. I mean, that's beautiful to see those things happening in the U.S.
Yes.
Imagine those like people like giving that power of to people back to Venezuelans to be proud of what they do. You were like, have you tried this before? And it's like, I mean, I see your smile and how your eyes shine through
Yeah.
your memories through your childhood. that's something South Americas we need to do.
Absolutely.
And places like Caracas Bakery, it's like the way to go.
Yeah, and you mentioned Venezuela. You've been there recently. Actually, I'm probably almost ashamed because you were. I haven't been there in 2 years, and I think you went.
2 years.
You were
2
there.
times.
Yeah, you've been twice in the last 2 years. So shame on me. But I wanted to ask you how you saw Venezuelan food scene because, as I mentioned, in the 70s and 80s, Venezuela was like, and the Paris of Latin America in terms of
food.
like amazing French restaurants, Italian restaurants, like the highest level. Not much like local cuisine that came later, and then because of political situation, like so many chefs from Venezuela are all over the world. I was almost joking, but not joking. You wouldn't believe there's more Venezuelan chefs in the Asians 50 best list than in the Latin American 50 best list. Yeah, there's 3 chefs from Venezuela who are leading kitchens in
the guy from Mono,
Mas, and
Ricardo
Juan Luis,
Chaletón,
Ricardo, y Luis Daniel Rojas, no?
Okay.
And I mean, recently, gladly, Venezuela is opening again. There's a lot of like journalists and chefs coming to Venezuela. And you've been there twice, I think, with Sam and with Ivan. How did you see Venezuelans' cuisine, access to products, like from somebody who's not from there? Because, of course, I go and I'm probably super biased, but from your point of view, how do you see the Venezuelan cuisine?
I mean, the first time I came to Venezuela was 2 years ago, and I really think it was. I didn't know what to expect, and but I was amazed because, in terms of communication by roads, the development that Venezuela has, I think it's one of the best in South America. And that's something you had.
That's like 40 years old.
Yeah, and it's much better than Colombia, for example. So, in terms of being communicated, the country, maybe I don't know if that's something that happens. What I saw, but all the ingredients that I asked for when I was popping up there, it was amazing. I mean, we had amazing ingredients. We had amazing
mostly local ingredients.
We were struggling a little bit for fish, but the rest, it was perfect. And I see like these projects, they're like, they're like pushing to being able to show their culture and in terms of ingredients and of what they're like showcasing their concepts. I think they're doing an amazing job and it's like as I was saying, like maybe I felt like a German guy coming to Colombia. It's like, I'm just going to stay in the 4 seasons and then move from these 3 blocks. And then because it's South America. But I felt like a little bit when I came to Venezuela, I felt like a little bit, okay, this is because it's what people, they sell you. You know? And
exactly.
News, they sell you. But then you come in and you're amazed. It's a beautiful, amazing city. People, they're like charming. I felt like super safe. And people, they were enjoying. People, they're coming out to the restaurants and like, and I was surprised, I think Venezuela, it's probably the politic thing. It's not like, of course, it's not working, but at least I think through food and people, they're like very excited to be there and like be able to.
No, and there's of course I still have so many friends there and following what's going on and new projects coming up. There's this new amazing ramen place that just opened. Of course, like many chefs like Ivan, Isam, Victor, Eduardo, Francisco Benante. So many people that I admire that are doing amazing things and who stayed in Venezuela and bet for the local cuisine.
And they're doing well, and they're doing great. And then I also saw, I as you were saying, I remember when I was like going to culinary school for the first time. In South America, you always heard that Venezuela, Caracas had the most amazing, exciting restaurant scene in South America. So it's they're people they're used to go out and I had the culture. So probably it's gonna be at some point. It's gonna be back.
I think it's in the DNA of Venezuelans, especially previous generations. Even for example before. Mistura in Peru, all these events. There was the Salón Internacional de Gastronomía in Caracas. And believe it or not, I'm talking 20 years ago, like Ferran Adrià was there, Massimo was there, Heston Blumenthal was there, Alain Ducasse, like everybody
Came.
used to go
Yeah.
to Venezuela for those events, those dinners. And I think it's even Gaston, before being Gaston, used to go there. So that DNA for like cuisine and high-end cuisine was there. And then people like Carlos Garcia or Victor Moreno, Francisco Benante started looking into our products, our pantry, La Despensa, our produce and elevated Venezuelan cuisine to another level, no? And we're talking about it with Carlos Garcia here in the podcast, which is because of the economical situation, and there's a little bit one part of the industry is like going back to imported foie and caviar and truffles and duck and not paying attention to local produce, but I think that's changing again for the good. No?
Really.
Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. So tell me a little bit what's next for you in terms of projects. I know you opened Selma recently.
Yeah.
Do you feel like El Chato is a mature project now that lets you see around, opening other projects, starting to do other things?
Well, I think it's. I mean, you are as good as your team. So I think as long as I have a good team, that I'm able to do certain things. Probably will try to, because they're like. I mean, Selma, it's. Chato is like a full-time, more than a full-time job. It's too much things going on, and you have like so many things between like the tasting and a la carte and like all the problems that a restaurant like this like you have, and then you think you wanna keep pushing and opening, and I mean I was not, I will never thought to open another restaurant. And the reason I opened Selma, it was because we are just like one house away. So it's like literally one house away, and that's the reason we did open there. But and also the space was amazing. So I mean, it made sense. We were able to operate with the same team, and like I mean, I had like a bunch of sous chefs that they really wanted like to start to like do their own thing. So that's the reason we opened Selma, because we were able to split like the team between two and keep like pushing. But Selma is more casual dining; it's more sharing style, so it's not.
Okay, but in terms of cuisine, like it still has like El Chato's essence, but it's more.
It's our core, It's our core, and it's how we think about product and food, but it's more sharing style. So, and it's not as investigative as El Chato, because El Chato we might use like certain like weird ingredients that people they don't know. Selma is like the more commercial part of the whole thing.
Okay, and that growth, I'm gonna ask you in a bit if you have any projects in the pipeline, but did that growth pull you out of the kitchen to be more like a restaurateur, an entrepreneur, taking care of payroll, admin, business development, and spending less time in the kitchen? Or you mentioned you have 3 other partners. So have you managed to stay focused on the kitchen, on your R&D, and having part of the team taking care of, I would say, the boring part of the business?
Yeah, actually, when we opened the restaurant, I told my partners I don't want to take care about this. I mean, I want to learn, I want to know, I want to see, but I don't want to be in charge of it because I'm a cook and I don't want to be a part of it. So I mean, they complement me in a lot of ways. So that's a good thing when you have partners like this. I mean, we're talking about Son, it's like how they like complement each other. It's like so amazing to have those kind of partners in your restaurant. But I think it's also very hard to work with them. So that's I mean, but I don't work with them. So that's like, I mean, something that I'm very lucky, that because I spend like my daily basics with them, which is sometimes when you have a partner, like, I mean, you just like, maybe it's like you can have like certain like differences. But I mean, just like we could have like once a meeting once a month, and then we start to think on what we do, and like they take very good care of the numbers. So that's my compliment with them. And I mean, what I do right now, my job at El Chato is mainly being on the pass and and creativity.
Okay.
So I have a very good CDC that complements me, and we like start. We just open like a new. So it's El Chato Selma, and this like new spot that we just open it's gonna be like a cultural like center for food. That's
Okay.
how we think about it. Like,
And that's where you're gonna have like R&D.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So we just like renovated this place. This place that it used to be like an antique. It's also like two houses away. So it's everything is in the same block. So we're very lucky to have
Oh,
that.
nice.
So
Well, is that the tropical storm, Miami tropical storm?
yeah,
No.
what is that?
I
Really?
think it's pouring. Yeah.
And we're in a container, so like
Yeah,
we're gonna
exactly.
blow on away. So yeah, I mean, so this place has like four kitchens, and one of them is gonna be R&D. Because El Chato now, I mean, as you're gonna see soon when you come back, you're gonna see it's gonna be a small. It's been so small. It's a smaller kitchen and a bigger dining room, but the same amount of tables. We just did.
Okay.
We changed instead of like square tables, we changed for round tables.
Nice.
So it's easier like to do the service.
And how do you make sure with that growth? How do you make sure you pass on your work philosophy? Because at the end, you mentioned you are capable. I mean, as far as your team grows, you will be able to do more. How do you make sure you pass that philosophy to your team?
You know, well, I can be proud of a lot of things in my life, but one of the things that are my top three might be my team. You know, like I mean, the guys that work for me with us. I'm not for me with me and with us. They are like so disciplined and like they're like showing themselves in so an amazing way. I mean, you saw Maida, like the pastry.
Sí.
She's like, I mean, we're talking about between 23 and 26-year-old people.
Super passionate.
Super passionate. Like, it's very hard to find cooks like that these days.
Okay.
And my team, they are like really, really passionate about it. People that has been working with us like between 5 and 6 years, and they keep pushing, you know, and they keep like loving what we do. And as long as we feel like family, we're gonna keep like pushing.
And what do you think is the key element that make those people stay with you 5-6 years? Like,
I think I invest a lot on learning for them.
Okay.
So the discipline on what we learn, it's something that you don't, I don't see people investing in they don't have time and they don't think about it. But I invest a lot. I mean, for example, my pastries, I like push them like to I buy them whatever they need. I mean, if there's like the latest things they want to do, and like,
Okay.
let's just buy it in. Like, there's the latest gadget, and there's like try to develop things through that. And then we don't understand the gadget, then we go and then we eat and then we try. And so it's like traveling with your family, you know. Like, I mean, like I take them tonight. We're gonna go to the surf club because I really want to invite her. She came to Per Se in December.
Nice.
I mean, and
not a bad
not a bad
work, no,
not
a bad
work.
job.
So I mean, for them, it's like it opens their minds, because
Yeah.
probably a lot of chefs, they just want to. I feel like I'm stuck. I want to stash. I want to stash. I want to because, or I want to change my job.
Yes.
Sometimes what I really do is that I take them to eat a lot outside.
Okay.
So
That's key.
so
I mean,
yeah. So through curiosity, you understand more things. If you go and if they gave you the recipe, you will like do it exactly the same. But if you go and eat and you don't know the recipe, it will blow up your mind.
Exactly.
So that's something that I really try to put that seed in the head of my cooks.
And how do you balance those traveling? Because of course you're all about Colombian ingredients and everything, and you were formed as a chef in France. How does travels to Asia or the different parts of the world, or even different countries in Latin America, inspire or nurture what you do? Like, do you take from those exchanges or from those travels? Do you take inspiration as well and apply it into what you do at El Chato?
Yeah, but I mean, it's for example, we're talking about the bun in Sunny's. I mean, my pastry, she will like probably like try to learn how they do it.
Okay.
But she will never do. I mean, she will never do the same recipe. She will like, try to change it, and that's very inspiring to see. But I mean, sometimes when you try to do something that exactly the same way, through the process, you fucked it up, and then you end up doing something else, and then you learn from that, and then you end up doing the most amazing recipe you ever thought about.
Talking about that, of getting inspiration. How do you see, for example, when you started cooking, there wasn't even like all this social media madness. Like if you wanted to learn a recipe, you had to go to the book, or if you wanted to do a stage, you travel and knock on the door of that restaurant. Now it's totally different. Especially you mentioned you have a lot of many people from your team are in their early 20s, where I'm sure it's like very like social media
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
driven. How do you see like cuisine evolving with like somebody posts something that becomes viral on TikTok or Instagram, and then a month later everybody's doing the same recipe? Like, do you feel your team like sometimes do they bring ideas that they get through social, or the speed of how fast a recipe travels is totally
Yeah, it's like
different now?
yeah.
It's like, so again, somebody's doing something in one country and
Yeah.
it becomes viral.
But yeah, I mean, it's changing, and sometimes it makes you feel old. Just like everybody is like, okay, because I remember once Pierre Garnier said to us, to this guy that I'm telling you that used to work in the lecture room, is like social media cuts creativity. That's what he said to all the staff, and at the time I said like it makes sense, because if you don't have that way of communicating and see yourself, you start to develop certain things that not everybody's achieving or trying to like do them do because
Yeah.
of a driven. So I think it makes sense, but it's something that is happening and you cannot be a part of it. But if as you are a creating chef, that you need to understand creativity through the process and mistakes. You learn more. So that it's something that I think is very important to have. If you just follow exactly the same thing, you're kind of empty. So
Yeah.
that's my way of seeing it. Maybe I'm too old for I don't know, but I'm also like the worst on technology. So I mean, I'm happy that there's not able to have that in my life.
Nice. And do you see, like, in talking about projects in the future, or how Colombian cuisine is evolving or being perceived outside? Like, is there any project outside of Colombia that you feel you would do, or are thinking of doing, of being an ambassador of Colombian cuisine somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, actually, we tried we tried and we did well in Italy. We did open in Milan for. I was consulting. I mean, during pandemic, I was bankrupt, of course, and then I had to find like a job wherever. And then this like football player that used to play on Inter de Milan, and Juan Ramiro Córdoba.
Ah, claro.
He offered me to open a restaurant with him. And,
Oh, no way.
We opened in Milan 4 years ago. One was probably like 3 years, 4 years ago. And we started to consult by distance, like the whole development of the project. Then we opened. First year was very hard because Italians just want to eat Italian.
Sí.
And if you go to Milan, you just want, as a tourist, you don't want to eat Colombian, and you don't want to eat Peruvian, and you don't want to eat Mexican because you want to eat pasta, you want to eat Italian. So it was hard at the beginning, but I mean, then it became like a success, like after the second
And it's
year.
pure Colombian cuisine, or it's like an
a
Italian
mix.
Colombian?
It's pure Colombian, but I mean, so the menu is divided into, it's like a classic Colombian food, like ajiaco, sancocho, things like that, and the other part is like more innovative, like kind of thing. So we do like a kind of a bistro, Colombian bistro, and then. We just closed like 2 months ago. I mean, I left the project like a year ago because I didn't have time for it, and I was never able to go there. So it didn't make sense for me to keep like pushing.
Okay.
But I was very proud to put it out the world. Like, I mean, to show people that what Colombian was, and I mean this was something very interesting. So this like Michelin star restaurant, Colombian chef that has a restaurant in South Italy. He's gonna take over.
Okay.
They're gonna move it from the location, and they're gonna reopen like in 3 months. Is what I know.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about that. I'm very happy about them to like really achieve something.
Nice.
But me personally, like opening something else, I don't know. It all depends on what they put on the table.
And I think we were talking about before about how Mexican and Peruvian cuisine opened the doors of Latin American cuisine. I mean, Juan Manuel Barrientos is doing well here. He has
He's doing well, no?
Yeah, Miami. He has 1 Michelin star in Miami, 1 Michelin star in Washington. Sebastian Vargas has also a Michelin star with a Mexican restaurant, but also very successful projects here in Miami. He's opening in Atlanta. So I think there's and these are the ones I know. I'm sure there's many more around the world, but you start seeing some like Colombian chefs like having the Colombian flag and around the world. So you think the world is prepared, or Colombian cuisine is prepared to export its products, its cuisine, after so many years of, I would say, bad press, maybe wrongly. Do you feel like it's the right moment for Colombian cuisine to go out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a matter of maybe not putting it in in a classic way, like as I was saying, maybe chefs like pushing themselves to show through Colombian ingredients, to use certain things, and people. Like, I mean, I remember, for example, when I went first time, you were saying, I mean, you were talking about Mono. I'm going to go to Venezuela because something that I really felt very exciting is that when Chanetono, he invited me to Mono, and he was just like showcasing the South America in a Hong Kongese culture.
Yes.
It was like, I mean, how do the people think? I mean, is this going to be a restaurant that is going to come once a year, or is this going to come once and never come back? Or do you really want them to really come back and have like regulars? And that's something what happens when you achieve through Colombian or South American ingredients in a weird and different country. It's very, 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 very hard to have like regulars, because people, they don't understand maybe certain ingredients. So it's a matter of achievement and becoming those things. How do those things become a classic so people they can be happy?
Yeah, you don't want to be the special occasion restaurant.
Never. You want to be something people they really remember, and they really want to come back. So there's two ways to achieve that. Become a super like successful and regular, famous, recognized chef, or just like take like classics and maybe make twist on classics.
Yeah.
And so I think Sones is making it like it's American cuisine, and if you go on Colombian in that way. Maybe at some point it could happen. It will be exciting to see, because I don't know if there's like any Colombian restaurants here in Miami.
Yeah,
like classic restaurants. No,
I mean there's some restaurants. There's the names escape now. There's a couple in Coral Way. Yeah, there's some representation of
and they're
Colombian
like fully
cuisine.
packed.
Sorry,
They're fully packed. I mean, there are restaurants that
they're still. I think they are still for Colombians. Just like, I mean, here in Miami, I think we are just in the verge of trespassing that cultural barrier where, for example, we were talking earlier about Caracas Bakery.
Yeah.
Where Caracas Bakery opened, the first shop was in Doral, only Venezuelans would go there because it was like a Venezuelan bakery with cachitos, pastelitos, golfeados, and so on. And now, after some years and growth, you see people from different origins, even Americans, going to Caracas Bakery to experience Venezuelan pastries. No, I think that happens. Same with areperas. Like before areperas, you only have Venezuelans going and having like a reina pepiada or something like that. And now, and same with Ecuadorian restaurants. There's many Central American restaurants here also, like Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Colombian. So now what I'm seeing is those restaurants are catering to the whole Latin American community and not only to the origin, like the people from their original country. And that's happening with Colombia. Actually, you mentioned Palo Quemado. There's a restaurant called Palo Quemado in Biscayne. And it's busy. I think it's
but
going
Colombians,
well.
but mainly Colombians.
probably maybe Colombian, but again, that's changing. Like you see, I mean, I've been there, and so.
But you eat everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
you're not an easy case.
Yeah, but that's opening. So I think that's good for Latin American cuisine here in Miami. Our friend Alejandra just opened the second location. I mean, a new location for Cotoa, which is Ecuadorian cuisine.
Yeah, we're telling me that.
And there's a mix that people from Ecuador going there and craving their classics, but also, I mean, people from all type of origins going and trying Ecuadorian cuisine. So I think it's a good time for, again, Colombian, Venezuelan, Ecuadorian, like all the wave that came after
people they're
Peru
craving
and Mexico.
for new things. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Asian restaurants are like, I mean, they've already been there for years.
Exactly.
So this is like maybe the new drive, no? Like the new thing.
Yeah, and also just like, and this is my wish, just like happened with Asian cuisine, like many years ago, maybe Chinese was the most popular cuisine, and now people understand, even from different, okay, this is not just Chinese, this is Sichuan, or this is Korean, and this is Vietnamese, this is Northern Thai food. I think with Latin food, it's going to happen the same. Like people, you mentioned like, oh, you're Colombian, you're going to make tacos. No,
Yeah.
no, that's
something
yeah,
else,
exactly. I think now people are understanding even like regional cuisines from Mexico, regional cuisines from Peru, and again, cuisine from all the different countries. So people who are not Latin America are understanding the spectrum of Latin American cuisine and the different origins. I think that's the next step of the work that we need to do, you as a chef, me as a communicator or consultant, of evolving the perception of Latin American cuisine.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, you know, like, I mean, Asians have been like there for a very long time. So South America, it's very exciting, you know, like, and also as you were asking before, like every time I travel, people, they get more excited about South American food, you know, and I think we are in an amazing, exciting point in our lives, you know, like for South America.
I remember once, this was probably like 8 years ago, I hope it changed. There's a famous hot dog place in Los Angeles called Pink. I don't know if you've heard about it. Super famous hot dog place. And Rafael Dudamel was the director of the orchestra now, the Venezuelan director.
Wow.
See,
Really?
he's now moving to the New York orchestra, but he was the director of the LA orchestra, Philharmonic. And at Pink, they had the Dudamel hot dog in honor of Dudamel. So I go there, and the hot dog had like a guacamole, like nacho chips and everything. And like these guys didn't even bother to Google like what's Venezuelan cuisine, and they just threw guacamole. Like
yeah, because they don't care.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But as long as it's exciting, it's a little tiny opening door that lead us to show what we do.
Absolutely.
You know? And I think that's very exciting. Very fun story.
So it's changing, and it's changing thanks to people like you who are like bringing Latin American cuisine all over the world, no?
Yeah, I'm very excited to also cooking here. I mean, this is the first time we do an event together, and I'm very excited about it. You know, like, I mean, it's like showing what we do and to the kind of customers Tony has. It's
how was your approach in coming up with the menu that you're gonna offer tomorrow?
Well, I mean, normally these collaborations, the way they work, it's I mean, we offer the first things. They normally ask them like, what do you want us? First time, why are you inviting us? What do you want us to do? And then we propose, and then they complete through what we propose. So they saw we were doing one pastry, 2 main courses, and 3 entrees, little like a Shane style, and then they're gonna complement like garnishes around that. I think it's gonna be very exciting. You know, I mean, we never like done so many covers at the same time.
Okay.
So it's gonna be, and I brought my pastry, so imagine it's gonna.
Nice.
And I just got up rid of my knee, so it's gonna be
challenging.
It's gonna be challenging. But I mean, when you invited me, I knew I was gonna have the surgery, and it's like, I mean,
Let's do it.
I'll do anything for you, Nina. So.
Thanks. Even coming here to the podcast on at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
No, thanks a lot for coming, Alvaro. I don't know if you have any closing remarks, something else you want to share with the audience?
But I mean, this is my first, like as I said, podcast with camera. So I think it's fun. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for asking me those questions. Thank you for whatever people that are hearing this. I mean, I hope you really like it because it felt like, I mean, it's a conversation with a friend, and I'm never like hearing a lot of podcasters, but podcast or however you say it, but lately I've done, and I think it's a lot of fun to understand through a conversation through friends. What
Absolutely, and even for me as a host, it's been. I mean, I've had great friends coming over, people who I've known for years, and we're not going to talk about. I mean, imagine us going to a coffee shop and having this conversation. It's not going to happen. We're always like on the day to day. So it's great to take like hour and a half. Again, we've known each other for so many years, and we never had I never knew your mom was a helicopter pilot.
No, but it's also fun because I think the things about this is like, okay, like that little gossip you have inside, you want to know.
Yeah,
you're able to hear it. So,
exactly.
So it's fun. It's fun, and I just said a lot of things I never said before to anyone. So
amazing.
Hopefully you can cut them if they're not like very.
Oh no, we didn't even. I have a list of things I didn't cover. That one we'll do with a beer or a cocktail.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
No, thanks for coming. Thank you everybody for listening. Remember to like us, to subscribe, to follow us. We are on all platforms. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, and looking forward to see you next time. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.